How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my review of Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace that has finished today at Selhurst Park. It did end in a 0-0 draw, and honestly, if you look at the result, a clean sheet away from home is never something to complain about. If you look at the fact that we picked up another point on the road, I can't really be too disappointed with that. Last season we only, I believe, got 2 clean sheets all season away. So, that was Brighton with a 0-0 and it was a Southampton with a 1-0. We've got the 0-0 draw and the 1-0 win. So hopefully that's not the only clean sheets that we pick up away from home this season. But look, there is a case for saying we were wasteful a little bit. Maybe we should have got all 3 points and didn't. I'll unpack that in a moment. But look, a point away at Crystal Palace is not, for a club in our position, it's not something to complain about. I think Palace are set up really well defensively, like I mentioned in the preview. They're a really well drilled side by Roy Hodgson. So, look, you can't complain too much, and I'm not going to be too disappointed by that. I think they showed in a defensive capacity why they are a team that kind of have established themselves in this league, a team that are never really in too much trouble. Look, I'll talk about in a second whether I think we should have won and that sort of thing. But overall, I'll take it. I mean, my FPL smiling with an Anderson clean sheet and a Matt Turner clean sheet. So in terms of that, I'm happy. But for me, always, Forest comes ahead of fantasy football. I'd have taken minus 100 from Anderson if it meant he scored that many own goals. But yeah, anyway, do I think that we should have won? Possibly. I mean, you look at Crystal Palace, a lot of players injured. I believe a player went off in the first half with an injury. His name escapes me. He was replaced by the youngster who I think he had a really good game. That lad, I think he came off the bench and causes a lot of problems. I'm just trying to work out who it was. Was it Jeffrey Schlupp? I think it was Jeffrey Schlupp that came off in the first half. So that's another player to add to their ever-growing injury list. Obviously, didn't have Elise and Eze. So I think if you want to go to Selhurst Park, the best time to do it is now without their key players. So in terms of that, there is a case to say we should have probably won, or a draw isn't probably something we can be too happy about. Potentially, but still, I think our defence played really well. And I want to pick out the positives from this. Murillo, man of the match from Sky Sports, and he fully deserved it. That guy is so good. At the age of 20, his second Premier League game, and he's got a man of the match award. That's mental. That goal, I mean, imagine if he'd scored that goal, the one where he took it from almost the halfway line, went on an amazing run, took it past 1, 2, 3, and then I think he just realised, I'm a centre-half, what am I doing here, and smacked it straight at Johnston. So, that would have been an incredible goal. There's a couple of other chances, I think. It was almost like a scissor kick kind of thing from Montiel, and I know in the first half that Toffolo had a good effort from the outside of the box, hit it sweetly. So we had chances, but I think without Taiwo, we lacked a little bit of quality up front, maybe, which I'm not going to get too concerned thinking about that ahead of the African Cup of Nations in a couple of months' time. I think we should be okay in that period. But look, it's showing me that defensively we're sound. Last season we were giving up silly goals, and we looked very fragile in defence for quite a while in the season. So to be a team who can keep a clean sheet against a Palace side on the road, who looked solid, didn't look like we were struggling at all, it's brilliant to see. And Willy Bolly, again, another good performance from him. He's just been so steady since signing for us. I remember when he left Wolves, a lot of Wolves fans weren't very complimentary on him. They kind of said he had that bit of the bozo gene, where you do stupid things for no reason. And they weren't too pleased with his performances towards the end. A lot of them were happy to see the back of him. But for us, I can't really remember a time where he's put a foot wrong. I think he's been solid for us, and a really good acquisition. I know we've spent a lot of money since coming to the Premier League, the likes of Gibbs White, Sangare, Tyro was a decent sum. He's been brilliant, Bolly. He's been a real standout signing. I think it was 2.5 million. I saw someone say on Twitter, which is an absolute steal, really, as well as Murillo. I want to talk on this quickly. Our transfer business and recruitment has been excellent over the past season. I know there's been some players who haven't worked. Your likes of Dennis, your likes of Shelby, Freuler, actually, I can't really think of many others that maybe haven't worked. But they've uncovered some gems in Murillo. That Dominguez deal to replace Remo Freuler is fantastic. And then also, the signings we haven't made as well have been, again, just as good as some of the signings we have made. We were in for, obviously, Henderson, and he got injured. So, he got injured at path to moving to Palace. So that was another one that we'd kind of, a bullet that we dodged. There's another player as well who his name escapes me, but recently he was announced as being injured. There was somebody else that we were heavily linked towards getting. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. But look, our recent incomings and opportunities not to sign, have been really, really good, and I'm really, really pleased by it. You look at Murillo today, and a man of the match in his second competitive game in English football. The sky's the limit for that guy. I thoroughly believe it. I could imagine Andrew Omabamidele and Murillo in 5 years' time that's playing in the back in the Europa League or whatnot. Well, that's the dream, but no. I think look, Murillo today, brilliant for me, along with Bolly, fantastic. Another stat in the first half that only one touch was taken by both centre forwards for Crystal Palace in our box. Defensively, we were solid. We didn't really give them a sniff. The chance they did have, which you'd probably say was a lap in our defensive concentration, they put wide anyway. But I don't think they really struggled. They really troubled us. Sorry, we didn't struggle at all defensively. Looked really assured, really solid. Hopefully Aurier's okay. I know he got taken off for Montiel, and hopefully he's all right, and it's not too dangerous, the injury on him. But defensively, solid. Toffolo came off the bench when Niakate got sent off against Brentford, and was solid again. He was someone that I think a few Forest fans, and probably including myself, had kind of written off a little bit. Someone who was like, oh, well, we've got Tavares now, we've got Aina, we've got Neko who can play out on the left. We kind of sorted for that position, but he's come in and he's been really good. He's been really energetic, lively down that left-hand side. I'm happy with him. He's doing well. And then Turner today, for me, cut out the silly kind of sweeper keeper nonsense that he was doing in the last game. I say silly sweeper keeper nonsense makes it sound like I'm Yadar who doesn't like the new up and coming trends in football. But what I mean is he's not just rushing out of goal or keeping the ball and almost getting it nicked off his toe on the goal line. So he wasn't doing that, and he got back to just being a goalkeeper, making the saves and that sort of thing. There wasn't a lot of space in behind for him to have to come out and sweep up, unlike there might be at the City ground, so maybe that's something. But today I think he did well. Matt Turner didn't really put a foot wrong, was solid in my opinion. Midfield, I think Mangala, Sangare and Dominguez were good. I think Sangare did well. I think somebody, it might have been Alan Smith on Co-Coms today on Sky Sports, called him the spoiler. And I quite like that. Not the spoiler that comes up on the back of a car, but he just spoils attacks. He spoils free-flowing moves from the opponents. He just gets in the way and wins it back. I think that's pretty cool nickname. But they did well today. None of them really stood out to me in terms of someone who had an amazing game. But they're all solid. All did their job defensively. And, they say about a defensive midfielder, if you don't hear anything about them, it's usually because they've had a decent game. And that's the case for those for me. And then in an attacking sense, I think Gibbs-White looked pretty good. I know he played out on the wing, but drifted in centrally at some times and got on the ball and tried to set things off, play balls, move into the space and things like that. I think he had a good game. Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. I think Elanga off the bench was a bit more effective, but again, not too bad. It was a game of two good defences, so they were nullified a bit, but you can't. They weren't bad per se. And then in the middle we had Origi and Chris Wood. One came off, the other came on. I think maybe there needs to be a bit more of a presence like Taiwo was in that position. I don't think really it was the service for both strikers wasn't really there too much, so you can't blame him all that much. But maybe they just need to offer a little bit more, maybe drop in a bit more deeper and link the play and move like that. But look, there wasn't a possibility, an opportunity of us going on and getting something from this game, given that there were so many injuries for Palace. Our bench was significantly stronger than theirs. A lot of academy players on the bench due to injuries. So, look, it might have been an opportunity for us to go out there and get our second 3 points on the road. We come away with a draw. On the face of things, I'm not too disappointed. But maybe there was an opportunity for us to go out there and get a little bit more from it. We didn't, so we've got to think about that. But look, we're only in our second season in the Premier League, and we should be aiming to try and beat these two sides. I think we are the team who are going away thinking, oh, maybe we could have got more from that one. But look, overall, I'm not too downhearted. It's a show of progress. We're being defensively solid. I think one of the first things to do as an away side is be defensively solid, and that's what we're doing. Our home games are where we can be a bit more expansive, a bit more expressive in an attacking sense. But as long as we're solid in defence and shut out that end of the pitch, then we can start to build on what goes forward in a attacking sense. But yeah, so overall, I'm not too disappointed. I can see why some fans think it's a missed opportunity, but for me, I'm taking the positives. I'm choosing to take the positives. A nice clean sheet on the road, setting ourselves up in a defensive manner, or not defensive manner, but more solid in defence, which is something we struggled to do last season. I'm happy. We look at our away games. We conceded twice against Arsenal, where last season it was 5. I mean, you look at United, right, we conceded 3 last season, conceded 3 this season. That was a red card. That was a little bit of a different game. Clean sheet against Chelsea. Is it our 4th away game? I think it is. And a clean sheet against Palace. So 2 clean sheets away from home in the league on the bounce. Brilliant, Actually, no, I'm sorry. I forgot about Man City. 2 goals conceded against Man City, 6 last season. So not 2 away on the bounce, but 2 away draws in 2 away games in London on the bounce with clean sheets. So take the positives out of that. But we are significantly improving in that aspect, being a little bit more dominant in games and not just setting up with 5 at the back, with 5 in front of them or 4 in front of them and 1 loitering around up front. We're being a bit more involved in games like this, getting stuck in and stuff like that, which is good to see. Being a bit more solid away from home, a bit more of an established Prem side, as that's what we want to become. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of the game, who your man of the match was. Mine was the same that was given by the Sky Sports, and that was Murillo. I'm very happy with him. So excited to see what the future holds with that guy. And yeah. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you did enjoy. Thank you for watching, and come on, you Reds.